Let's get on to Liverpool's second half job that they did on Rangers, Brian. Just pick up that point Richard was making before the break. We know Klopp is a lot of it with him has been about the emotion of it and the positivity and how he gets the players and the crowd involved in it. And Richard felt he wanted the players to feel good about what they were doing again. Was that part of it in that second half towards the end when they just kept going for goals?
I think there's been obviously a lot of analysis about where they're at and how inconsistent they've been, and we've been pointing out that all the areas of the pitch have been suffering a little bit. So I think tonight is a night where the morale could be recovered with that performance, but they'll also be realistic enough to know that Rangers weren't a true test of where Liverpool are with regard to the Premier League, for instance, and that tonight it was a job done eventually, and that's all. But from good news, I think, was that when Robertson came on, he looked lively, even though his last 20 minutes stuff and the game was done. And Salah recovered a bit of form and confidence tonight. Firmino, who's been in good form, goal scoring, he also played very well. Nunes will be the better of eventually scoring. So there was some good things from the game, and young Harvey Elliott's performance was decent too. Cavallo was mixed. He still has a bit, I'd say, to do to decide on the shape, the tactics, and the starting team for the match with Manchester City at the weekend, because they've been such outstanding form compared to where Liverpool are, that they need to pull out one of their great performances, I think, to beat Manchester City this week.
Yeah, I mean, like Richard, it's a completely different challenge that awaits them at the weekend. But I sometimes kind of think, at the end of the match, you're just looking at the second half performance. But at half-time, we were talking about, we were using words like disjointed, Liverpool being unrecognisable once again this season from what they've been in previous seasons. The system looking a bit weird and unfamiliar. Does Klopp sort of say, well, forget about all that now? Or is he going to go back and look at that first half and say, it still doesn't feel just right?
There's been enough negativity about Liverpool. I think Klopp will try and focus on the positive, certainly before the weekend. Even the fans need something to cling on to, and now they can look and go, oh, we're back, and they'll start to believe that. So when Man City go to Anfield at the weekend, it'll be a place that's full of positivity, full of vibrance, and there'll be lots of energy in the place. And Liverpool needed a result like that tonight, regardless of Rangers' performance. They just threw in the towel in the second half. That meant a lot to Liverpool, and they kept pushing. They looked like they wanted more goals, and they were all crossing fingers, hugging each other, waiting for Harvey Elliott to get his goal. And I think it just lifted a little cloud that was over Liverpool, and they'll be delighted. They'll be looking forward now to the weekend. That's
relevant, isn't it, Brian? That what Richard says there, that they didn't get 4 or 5-1 up and just started passing the ball around. That they were just going for the jugular. Like it was important to them to. Yeah.
But the fresh players, I think, because they're thinking about their place now as well in the team, because Robertson's getting on as a sub, and he's wondering, is Marcus going to be playing ahead of me this weekend? He wants to show. Equally, Salah doesn't start tonight. He's some self-doubt. He's saying, well, is the manager resting me, or am I dropped because I'm not playing well? So he comes on and he wants to make an impact. So that was part of the thing where he freshened her up, made a few other changes in the second half, and they were lively, and they stayed at it right till the end, and they were quite clinical, I suppose, too, when we look at the goals, the chances created and the numbers that were finished.